Hey again everyone, hopefully you're not sick of these yet. This is going to be likely a much longer video again, 22 minutes I think, which is kind of crazy. Um, this is between Soma and Gimp, or Derek and Nate. Um, Not sure, this kind of looks like a hand warm. No, this is a real game. I don't know if they're doing tournament formats, so I'm not going to touch too much upon stages and stuff like that. I'm going to focus more upon how they could be improving their characters. Now, I know a lot about Sheik, but I do not know a lot about Sonic at all. So it'll be a little bit harder. I'll have to come from a more base level than that. Meaning like won't be delving too much into the character specific knowledge of Sonic. With Sheik though, it's good to go for regrabs, but it's very important that you jump cancel your grabs, which is when you jump slightly before you grab and you get the standing grab animation instead of the dash grab, because dash grabs are, as a rule, not as good. They stay out longer and they come out slower. They're just not as good. There's more end lag on a dash grab than there is on a standing grab. So what you do is right before you grab, you hit the jump button, you enter a neutral state, and then you grab, and you get what's called a jump cancel grab. And that's, if anybody has any further questions on that, you can hit me up. You know where to find me. People have been doing that already a little bit, which is really nice to see. Now, I see this a lot in Sonic players, in the few Sonic players that we have in Thunder Bay, and with Derek just now, right here. Dash attacking into doing nothing while your opponent's off stage, it's not great. You want to like constantly be applying pressure to your opponent, constantly forcing them to, constantly finding ways to limit their options through whatever means necessary. And generally, you know, if you get them off stage and you stand still, it's a free ride. It's just letting them, it's just saying you can come back and I'm not going to try to stop you, so it's good. Now, I see a lot of really, really early deaths this game. What that tells me is that you guys are not having the greatest survival DI. And survival DI is basically the direction you hold the control stick while you're being hit. Now that's kind of the same as combo DI, but combo DI is a little bit different because with survival DI, most of the time you just want to hold into the center of the map. In on the center of the screen, center of the map. Now, I did speak with Gimp about this before, but one thing you really need to work on if you're going to play Sheik is that you really don't want to forward smash almost ever. The only time you want to forward smash is if you get a the only time that it's okay to forward smash is that if you get a really hard read on a roll, but even then there's better options because grab leads to down throw, leads to forward tilt, leads to forward air, right? And you don't get that with forward smash. If with forward smash, the best thing you will ever get is, if the percent's right, you will get one single forward air. So generally you never ever want to forward smash with Sheik. That was a really nice combo from Soma. Whoa, keeping it going. Remind someone timestamp that and make a GIF. That was cool. Just good running through the motions here, as well. Just so anybody knows, basically, you again almost never want to go into the rapid jab. With any character. Not all characters can rapid jab, which is just, a rapid jab is just the final part of the jab combo where you push A, and then you push A again, and if you keep pushing A, they'll keep doing their jab. You pretty much never ever want to do that because there's so little knockback on that it'll never kill anyone, and there's so much ending lag on it that when you're doing it, your opponent just can basically punish you with whatever they want for free. And the thing about that is it's true even if they hit you. Even if they hit you with the rapid jabs, you can just DI out, smash DI out, or regular DI out. Basic either way it's pretty free. So you never want to do that with Sheik or Falcon or whoever has a rapid jab. You want to practice never having to do that, never getting to that stage in your jab. I see a lot of good edge offstage play with Gimp's Sheik here. So props to that. lots of, you know, ledge guarding, lots of offstage forward airs. Really, a really good foundation for any Sheik. You're gonna want that. Good place to start. I also do not know who loses this set, so I figure I'll just split up my time evenly. Now, a lot of what's going on in this game is poor execution in terms of DI and recovery. And I know these guys were sober that night, so it's not really a matter of having too much to drink or tournament nerves, because it's just friendlies, right? Although, honestly, you know, having the camera, knowing you're being recorded, can take a toll on people. But all I can go on is what I'm seeing. So this looks like it was probably a best of 5. Ooh, that was a good spring. Sheik should be able to make it back though. Yeah. One trap I do see Sonic players falling into a ton as well is well, it goes on what I was saying before. Not only you know, the dash attack into having your opponent off stage and then doing nothing isn't great, and using dash attack too much isn't great either. I mentioned this in a previous video. Dash attacks, Sonic's dash attack is like amazing. It's one of the probably the best dash attacks in the entire game. It's super effective. The hitbox is great. It starts, you know, it does all these wonderful things for you, and it's easy to land, and like, you know, your opponent can't react to it very easy because it comes out so fast. But the problem with it is that you can go into training mode. Sonic's dash attack isn't gonna kill until like 300 or 400. It's just not gonna happen. So you really don't want to rely on that too much, because it doesn't even combo particularly well at this level. You can get some things off of it, but like dash attack can lead to Sonic's up air, but you really want to practice going for other things in the neutral. So what I'm saying is that was a really good stock. Wow. As a Sonic player, you want to really diversify your neutral game. You really don't want to just have a dash attack neutral game. You want to mix up your side Bs, your neutral Bs, your dash attack, your grab, because Sonic is obviously straight up the fastest character in the game, just hands down, like by a lot. So with other characters where their options might not be very good in neutral, like imagine Zelda running at you and jabbing you, right? It's not good because she's so slow, but because Sonic's so fast, traditionally not great options can be very, very powerful. One thing that I can see somewhat benefiting from a lot actually is something called down canceling. And this is when you're running and you push down, your character immediately enters the crouch state, and even if it looks like you're running from the crouch state, you can hit basically any direction on the C-stick, or you can down tilt, or you can release the down cancel and then be like in neutral and perform jabs or tilts. This is something that if I'm not explaining it very clearly, I would say it's very important that you message me and I can clarify. That was nice. Because it opens up your options from run, because honestly run is one of the states in the game that is like almost by far the weakest, because out of run all you can do is dash attack, grab, shield, or jump, whereas in neutral you have access to all your smashes, all your tilts, all these things, right? But when you're running, you can't do your smash attacks, you can't do your tilts, you can't, you know, you're very limited in comparison. So you know, at first glance it looks like Sonic's really, like, by his very nature, like, limiting himself, right? He, like, his greatest strength is his speed, but when he's running, he's got limited options. That's just not the case, because down canceling exists in the game. So what you want to do is you really want to practice with down canceling. Practice run into down cancel into up smash, run into down cancel into down smash, run into down cancel jab, run down cancel grab, even, because that's another way you could get a neutral grab out of a run, although it's not as good as jump cancel grab. It's stuff you need to be aware of. Really experiment with down canceling, and right now that would probably be, aside from cleaning up the recovery and DI, In terms of improving your neutral and your combo game, that would be my number one piece of advice to Soma, would be experiment with down canceling. I don't see a lot of rolling from either of these, which is a very pleasant change. But I do see a lot of very messy offstage recoveries, and in a lot of ways that's just as bad as having a rolling addiction, or possibly even worse, because when you give up a stock, man, that's 25% of the game right there. It's just 1/4 over, you know, and you don't want to let those go for no reason like that. That's the second time in a row that's happened. So what that tells me is that Gimp, a little bit of Soma, but mostly Gimp really needs to go and just move. Just go into a practice mode. Use the trick where you set the game mode to time and set it to infinite and just have only one player in the game. That's a very interesting trick for anybody who likes to practice by themselves, like without any bots. Have the camera focused on you all the time. Gimp needs to just go into that mode and just practice. Just move around, just play, just practice being off stage, practice recovering, because I see that his off stage game, his edge guards they're good. You know, he knows when it's appropriate. He doesn't always pick the best option, but there's few people who do at this level of play. But you definitely need to practice things like recovering. And it seems redundant. It seems easy. I feel like Gibbs the kind of player who probably won't put too much stock in something like practicing by yourself, but like you really have to, and the evidence is here with the amount of missed recoveries. So it's definitely something you want to do. Just do it over and over again. Practice offstage double jump, practice offstage forward air, practice your up B, practice snapping to the ledge, practice snapping over the ledge, practice recovering high and falling to the ledge. Practice recovering high and then fast falling to the ledge while you're in special fall. Special fall being the flashing state where after you up B and you can't do anything besides DI. 3, 2, 1, go! As well, I would have to say that Gimp's neutral game we'll start with neutral game. Gimp's neutral game is very seriously lacking. You really want to work on your spacing. So the way I've described this to people in the past is think about Sonic in his shield and think about Sheik, right? If Sheik jumps and does a forward air with bad spacing, Sonic's going to shield grab or Sonic's going to jab and he's going to punish you, right? But if you space appropriately, if you place your character the maximum range of Sheik's forward air and you hit Sonic's shield, he can't grab you. And that's true to an even greater degree with something like Sheik's back air, because there's more range on it. So what you want to do is you want to practice, like, have someone be in shield and just practice. Oh my lord, Sonic is vicious. Practice spacing your aerials appropriately and practice even your dash attack. Practice spacing your dash attack so that you hit them, but you go through them so they can't shield grab you. Or practice your neutral air so that when you land, you're out of range and they can't shield grab you. That was a good needle Gimp. Obviously, I've said this in every single video to date. People need to grab the ledge more. That would have been a free kill if Gimp had turned and wave dashed and grabbed the ledge. There's many ways to grab the ledge. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some recordings with Sage, and I'm just gonna make a tutorial on different ways of grabbing the ledge, just straight up, like, just so you guys have some sort of frame of reference. I think that's something I'll do in the very near future. One thing I really do have to compliment is the degree of accuracy that Soma shows with his axe kicks. It's kind of crazy because we don't have any Sonic players and we don't really see that. He's getting a lot of kills from axe kicks. It's really neat to see. So back to what I was saying about Sheik though. and the spacing. You Most of the time you want to be spaced appropriately so that you can't get shield grabbed. And a big part of that is practicing not only the spacing itself, but also practicing what's known as the shuffle, or the short hop fast fall L cancel. So that involves short hopping, reaching the apex of your jump, choosing an aerial, fast falling, and then L canceling. And it's very difficult, but I would say it's hands down the most important thing that any newer players can wrap their head around. I would go as far as to say that, like, if there's two players and they're even close to the same level, if one of them can shuffle and the other can't, it's a guaranteed game. Like, it's 100% going to go in the favor of the person who can shuffle. So you want to shuffle and space appropriately so you can't get shield grabbed, or you want to fade through. And what that means is you want to go past them while you're in the air. You hit their shield and you DI past them so they can't shield grab you. I don't know what's going on here, but we'll switch into Samus mode now. Never mind. We'll switch into Sheik mode now. Still remain in Sheik mode. Whatever. 3, 2, 1. Sheik is certainly at low levels of play, Sheik is much easier to play than Samus, so it would make sense to just so Soma knows, anytime in the world, any character, any time of day, if Sheik forward smashes your shield, you can grab. You can even, there's 2 hits. Sheik will kick once and then kick again. You can either A, grab between the first hit of the kick, while the first kick is done but the second one hasn't started, you can shield grab that, or you can shield grab after, once the second kick has failed. And it will fail, because Sheik's forward smash is a very bad move. It is not her worst move, because chain exists and down B exists, but it's pretty bad. Yeah, one thing, I'm gonna keep going back to this method of spacing, because I want you to think of it like bad spacing. Okay, good spacing is like I want to say like fencing, right? Like when you hit the person, or even Marth, right? You think about it, Marth is rewarded for good spacing because of his tipper mechanic, and everybody knows about the tipper mechanic. Marth is rewarded because he is pushing the limits of his, like, you know, where he can hurt people, and he's not putting himself in any more danger than he needs to be. But bad spacing is like someone playing football, where the other person on the football field is like, has braced themselves and they're ready to take the hit, and their shield is up, metaphorically or real, depending on whether you're going with the football analogy or the Smash Bros analogy. But they brace themselves and their shield's up, and you charge into them and you put everything you have into that hit, but you know their shield's up, or they brace themselves, so you know they take the hit and then they just return it. They do something else. They hit you back while you're recovering from, you know, putting your entire body weight into that one previous hit. I don't know if that analogy makes too much sense, but it's sort of helped me in thinking about it, because like you really don't want to be pushing up against someone's shield. You really don't want to be that football player. You want to be like Marth. You want to be like the fencer, right? Or the mix-up is that you go the footballer route, but you go so hard that you go through them and they can't shield grab you. You go all the way to the other side of their shield. Now that's good because they can't shield grab you, but you do risk them releasing their shield, turning around and grabbing. So it's much like a lot of things in this game. It's a matter of mixing your opponent up and choosing the option that they don't expect. And that's true for every character, by the way, not just Sheik. As well, I may have already mentioned this, but you really need to make I'm not going to say better use, but I'm going to say any use of your needles as Sheik, because I do not see very much, if any at all, needle use. Um, Now, on the topic of Sonic's play, you're losing a lot of stocks to. It's good that you want to attack. This will probably be the last point because this video is wrapping up soon. Um, I see a lot of the times when you're recovering, Sonic is one of the very few characters in the game who can still act out of his up B, which is really great. But one thing you need to, a conclusion you need to come to is that you cannot grab the ledge while your attacks are out. So if you choose to do a forward air and hit someone who's trying to ledge guard you and you hit them, that's great. But if your forward air is still out and it hasn't ended yet, you're not going to grab the ledge. And I see that's why you're losing a lot of stocks, is that instead of choosing to recover, you're choosing to be aggressive. You really want to like rush down and beat your opponents up, which is a good attitude, but you cost benefit analysis, right? Landing an axe kick and doing 10% or whatever it does isn't not really worth a stock. So I want you to same thing as Sheik. I want you to just like go off stage, practice like landing aerials onto stage from the ledge, or practice grabbing ledge, because I really don't see you go for the ledge a lot. Maybe that's somewhere you're uncomfortable, I don't know. The combo game is so good though. Very strong combo game with Sonic. I feel like when you're where you want to be, ooh, the chain grabs, that was nice. When you're where you want to be, there's almost no one stronger. But that doesn't happen often enough to balance out the cons of throwing your stocks away at the ledge, or going for repetitive options in neutral. So you have some great strengths, but you have some equally great weaknesses. And if you see, okay, that was okay. You're just throwing the game because it was over. So you have some great strengths, but you have some equally great weaknesses. And if you round out those things, it'll help your play a ton, I think. Practice every time you die when you don't need to, because you did an aerial and you couldn't grab the ledge. I want you to make a mental note and go from there. And with Sheik, spacing and needles. Oh my, yeah. Put a lot of work into recovery as well with Sheik. Needles, 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 needles.